Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a new Xcode project. It's going to be a single view application. I'm just going to call this Headlamp example. It's going to be for the iPad. Use storyboard. I'm going to go do next. I'm going to go ahead and create this. And I need my images in here, so I'm going to kind of drag this out of the way. And I'm going to drag in my spotlight. So I'm going to copy that item. And then I also need like a background image, so some kind of a scene. So I'll do burning tree. All right. First thing, I'm going to go ahead and take out the portrait modes. I could spend a little more time designing it so that it goes in all modes, but I'll just do landscape. I go to my storyboard. I click on my top border area where the battery is, and I'm going to change my orientation to landscape. Down here in the lower right, I'm going to click on my media panel. I'm going to drag out my one background. And under the ruler, I'm going to change its width down to 1024 by 768. And I'm going to put my X and Y in the upper left corner to zeros. Now some of the machines in the lab had an issue when we dragged this spotlight over it because it was such a big file. It's only a couple kilobytes, but it's a huge UI image view. So to start off, we can go ahead and just go to the Objects menu and do Image, drag the UI image view on. Give it a property of having that spotlight background. So we might have called it flashlight. Yep. And then I'm going to go to my ruler. And I'm going to change the width and height up to 5,000 apiece. And then the X, let's do negative 334, negative 222, and hopefully what we want is so that we don't see any of that spotlight. So that looks good. So we have two layers here. We have our basic view, we have an image view of our background image, our scene, and now we have the spotlight mask where we don't see anything through it because that hole is not visible yet. So I'm going to go ahead and close this back down. I'm going to go to my assistant editor. I'm going to control click and drag over, create an outlet, and call this the spotlight area. I'm going to go ahead and connect that up. Now we're really close to being done. I'm going to go back to single view. So up here in the editors, choose single view. I'm going to click on my viewcontroller.m. I'm going to implement two methods. So these are in all view controllers, so minus void. And if you just start typing touch, you'll get all the touch events. We're going to be focused on touches ended, and we can do that one first. So when you pick up your finger, you don't want to see any of the spot anywhere. So we're going to say self dot, and I forgot what I called it, spotlight area. So self dot spotlight area dot center equals CG point make and negative 200, negative 200. Hopefully that's far enough. So we're taking that spotlight where there's a circle and we're moving it off the screen. So the circle part's off the screen, but the rest of the masking, the black area, is covering up the rest of the image. So we have that part taken care of. Final part, we're almost there. We're going to have touches moved. And I'm going to cheat. I got a little my touch code. You're going to want two things. You want to go ahead and get all the touches from the set. So touch is any object will turn where you touch the screen as a UI touch. Now in the UI touch you can get the location of that touch. So we do a CG point, location, touch, location, and view. So we're taking this touch, getting its location in view. Self is not right. I need to do self.view. Now I have this location. If I put the spotlight, the center of it, where my finger is, that area is going to become clear because that's where our clear circle is located in our UI image view. So let's go ahead and do self.spotlight area, that's center, equals CG point make. Well, not CG point make. Not even that. We got to do location. Go ahead and save it. Run it. And now we got this black screen. Wherever I click, I get that little spotlight effect. So pretty handy. And there was more to the game than that, but that was one of the main concepts that we wanted to cover in this tutorial. The other concepts were they used CG Affine Transform Scale, so they scaled objects once you had your finger on the object for long enough. And they also did particle systems, which is kind of interesting. They used a star-type particle once you got the credit for that object. They also did centers of the objects that they randomly placed along their maps. So there's a little bit of coding in there, probably quite a bit of work, but it's one of those things where you can't really focus the game on an interaction. You got to focus the game on the playability and the excitement factor. What are the levels? How do you get them hooked?